Dear family and friends, and whom it may concern, I'm writing this poem to help you discern the actions to take and the things to refuse when some terrible day you are faced with the news that some sudden illness or stroke of bad luck has left me unconscious and helpless and stuck face up in an ER, laid out on a stretcher with chaos around, and you're under pressure to make some very quick, high-stakes decisions. I want you to feel you at least have a vision of what you can do, so you'll know in your soul that you've done what you could with what's in your control.
But what?
There are so many things that could happen to me, from some normal disease to a strange tragedy. I could be shot, stabbed, or bombed by a crazed mass attacker. Or I could do something as simple as choke on a cracker.
I've done that.
If I were much older or already quite sick, I'd review what I do when I don't want right quick. But while in what I think is a good state of health, barring malignancies lurking in stealth, it's a bit more complex than would otherwise be, were I now gravely ill and you were my trustee. If I suffered already some known bad condition like terminal cancer, for which a physician had given a very poor, sad, short prognosis, like bile duct tumor or gliomatosis or PPMS or an end-stage cirrhosis, I'd choose my own plan for my own diagnosis. If my heart were about to give out and I knew it, I'd save you this trouble and write my way through it. I'd sit down with my doc and she'd sit down with me, and we'd write out the orders for all docs to see. It would be what is known in most states as a post form. In our Commonwealth, we call it a most form. We'd talk about tubes for food and hydration, for breathing and peeing and resuscitation. She'd find out when I'd want to be hospitalized, and without much ado, it would be finalized. After all of my preferences I have confided, and my doctors checked off all the things we decided to make clear what I do when I don't want provided, we'd print out both pages, one sheet, double-sided. We'd sign with a pen in blue or black ink, and the paper would be Astro Bright's Pulsar Pink.
Pajam!
But that's not how it is, nor how it may be when someday you stand looking down sadly at me. When something has happened we'd all prefer not, when I'm mauled by a bear or a nasty blood clot that wedged its way into my heart and my brain and my pulse and my breathing I cannot maintain without all the people, machines, and the meds in this room with us now with the Clinitron beds.
Oh.
At this point, you're proxy, and I am unable to speak or write because I am unstable. What I advise now is you try to stay steady. They'll understand here that nobody's ready to see what you'll see and to hear what they'll say. You'll need to stay strong to get through this day.
Word.
In these first hours before they know much, there's no need to talk about hospice and such. I want pretty much everything under the sun to keep me alive till assessments are done. But that's where it gets hard. Those assessments are key to know well exactly what's happening to me. You remember, dear Julie, from your nursing classes, I'm sorry, I got to stop. My wife's name is Julie, by the way, and I forgot to mention that, and she's a nurse.
She's a nurse too.
And she's been working in home care for about 20 years or so as well, so she's been out of the acute space for that period.
How dare you personalize this?
She's my healthcare proxy.
Beautiful.
So I'm sorry, I got to go back. Yeah. You remember, dear Julie, from your nursing classes, and know things are bad when they mention blood gases. Oh. When they work fast but talk to you slow as molasses to tell you my PCO2 count surpasses the level at which any life can sustain, and they've just placed a catheter in a large vein, and they tell you inserting a tube down my throat and pumping in air is the best antidote to whatever initial test tell them assails me. Let them do it, but know that it won't cure what ails me. Keep in mind all the time that there's really no doubt that whatever's put in, we can make them pull out.
Oh, whatever's put in, we can make them pull out. If it's day 2 or day 3.
If it's day 2 or day 3 and there's been no real changes, if we've not gotten past keeping vitals and ranges that keep me alive and my organs perfused, and my mental state's worse than just simply confused, and I'm still not able to talk, think, or write, it's time to get serious about how I want to fight. Now's when you'll need to deal with the odds and the chances and get all the intel on my circumstances. Make sure all the docs are real honest with you and they've given a total and thorough review to help make it clear what you think I would do. If there's a good chance I'll emerge from this coma with nothing so bad as a limp or a stoma, then tell them to go ahead with their bad selves and flitter on me like magical elves and poke me and prod me and turn me about and shove in more tubes from my tail to my snout.
Hallelujah.
But it must be a good chance. Don't take a long shot. To find out for sure, get a palliative consult.
What?
You want a clinician who's skilled in the art, who's taken the time to review my whole chart. You want him or her to be truthful with you, to share data and odds, and to talk the thing through. So review all the facts. Don't get too sentimental. Save that for the funeral. I won't be judgmental. If the life that I lived is now fully behind me, that's what I want in the end to define me. I don't want the memory of me recalled as an oblivious lump with devices installed, and I damn sure don't want all the money I've saved to be spent on my trip from this bed to that grave. I'd rather you have it, the kids and their spouses. If Bernie had one, it could help them buy houses. Because he did not, and they're going to need knowledge, you can set it aside to help them with college. But I guess I've digressed. That stuff's all in my will. Let's get back on the track and get you up this hill. If the odds don't look good, please don't grasp at faint straws. Tell my kids, friends, and mother, and my in-laws to gather, and just for a moment, take pause. Tell me you love me, give me a kiss. Have them turn off the things that buzz, roll, and hiss. Have the nurse give me meds to make sure I feel good, and pull the tubes out knowing it's understood that you were first rate. In a tough situation, you have only my love and my firm affirmation, and my trust you've performed, as in past situations, in a way that exceeded my best expectations.